You know, a lot of the times you need to have something interesting going on in your synthesis, and one way to do it is using automation. However, within a synthesizer you can usually get some really cool stuff going on without doing automation. Alright, now let's try to make something like a chord progression a little bit more interesting using just synthesis, alright? So what I've got here is just a simple chord progression, and I've used the init preset of Serum right now, and all that I've changed right now is the filter on the actual init preset. So I can turn it off, turn on. So first let's make it a little bit more wide. I'm going to adding a couple more voices so the detune is going to work. Alright. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some movement with an LFO. So what I want is, we have these 3 chords here, and the last chord is longer than the ones before because this one is 2 bars long instead of 1. And we can play around with that second bar. So for example, I can create this movement. So I really like it if the filter is going to open up on the end of the chord here. So how would you do that? Well, you can do it with an LFO, and there's a really cool function in an LFO for Serum, which is called a delay. So I want this movement to happen. So what I'll start to do is I'll take the LFO 1 and I'll change the shape to this, and I'll drag it onto the cutoff. Now this will happen. Way too fast. I need it to be 1 bar. But I don't want it to be on these 2. That's not what I want. So I'm going to put a delay on it of 1 bar. So I think it's a little bit too drastic. I think the cutoff should be opened up a little bit less. So let's try it out again. Seems kind of fun. Alright, now let's go into the effects, and I'm going to do the same thing with a distortion. I want the distortion to open up on the last 2 bars here, and it just needs to be a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. Alright, sounds cool. Now maybe a little bit of a delay on the end as well. So I'm going to turn down the mix a little bit, maybe up to here. Set it up. Let's try it out. So I want the bottom, the last bit portion of the chord to be reverted back into the beginning. So that's, I'm just using the same LFO over and over again. So I've already set up this LFO to be 1 bar long and have a 1 bar delay, and I've set it up to the drive, the mix of the delay here, and the filter. So all 3 of them are doing the same movement at the same time. Now maybe the cutoff needs to be open a little bit more from the start. Sounds already a lot more fun than just a standard init preset. I can do something more. Let's do a second LFO and put it on the coarse pitch here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into global, and I'll activate double click for typable values on controls. Now when I go to matrix, you can see LFO 2 is being linked to the coarse pitch, which I've just dragged here. But what you can also do is double tap, and now you can type a value. For example, if you want to have 12 semitones of pitching, you would guess you would just type 12 and that's it. That's actually not the case. If you want 12 semitones, you type 12 ST, semitones. The value is 9. Now I want 1 semitone, which is just 1, and let's try it out. So what I've just done is I've created a kind of a vibrato that's really, really soft on the chords here. And it's creating a different movement in the chords, which to me sounds more interesting than just normally using the init preset and just be done with it. So what we end up with is this. Now I've just used the saw waveform, but you can use all kinds of different waveforms in Serum and create way more interesting sounds than just a normal saw wave. So you can try it out in your own productions. It's a really, really intuitive program to use when you're doing synthesize with Serum. So I really recommend it. Let me know in the comments down below what you want to see me do next, and I'll see you next time.